Hello and welcome to On Point. I'm Kartikeya Sharma and today we have 3 On Points lined up for you. In On Point 1, fresh violence erupts in Manipur's Ukhrul after a truck driver carrying essential supplies was also shot dead on NH 202. What explains this violence? In On Point 2, Netanyahu says Israeli forces now control 60% of Gaza and plans are underway to push that to 70%. At the same time, Israel is expanding the buffer zones inside southern Lebanon. Is this about security or greater Israel? In On Point 3, forest fires are tearing through Himalayan region. Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir are battling massive blaze, threatening villages, highways and forest land. Are seasonal wildfires now turning into year-round climate emergency for India? Now let's take a quick look at the headlines. Erupts government over NEET paper leak asks Centre to file affidavit in court. Further hammers down on NTA saying UPSC never had a paper leak. NTA needs to learn. Big win for Vinesh Fogart as Supreme Court allows participation of Vinesh in the selection trials for Asian Games scheduled for May 30th. Samajwadi Party women's wing leader Gargi Patel brutally assaulted at her home in Chandauli district over property dispute. Police registers FIR against 5 people. "12 people, including 8 in Pimpri Chinchwad and 4 in Pune, died after consuming toxic liquor. 8 people have been arrested in the case. Chief Minister Fadnavis assures strict action against those responsible. Major setback for Jeff Bezos' space venture as Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket explodes on the launch pad in a massive fireball. The company says that the rocket experienced an anomaly during a hot fire test. Fresh tension has been reported from Manipur's Ukhrul district. A truck driver carrying essential commodities was shot dead between TM Kasom and New Haven along National Highway 202. The convoy was transporting rice supplies for Ukhrul district. Kuki women initially tried to stop the convoy. A joint team of security forces was escorting around 15 to 20 commercial trucks through the area. All food for civilians. Nothing to do with non-essential supplies. Officials said security personnel used non-lethal methods to clear the road. Soon after, the militants opened fire from the nearby hill areas as the convoy progressed. The identity of the truck driver is yet to be confirmed. Security personnel were also injured in the incident. Chief Minister Yumnam Khemchand condemned the attack and said vested interests were attempting to disturb peace in the state. Home Minister Govindas Kodhujam visited the hospital where the injured security personnel is undergoing treatment. The Home Minister said action would be taken against those responsible even if it takes time.
Don't have any word to condemn such kind of way. We are just waiting for an right moment. We lack of it.
Without wasting any time, let me just go to my guest because on this issue I had been doing a lot of debates. This is not the first time that the violence has taken place, but this is the first time in recent past the violence has taken place to enforce a roadblock in which both civilians and the militants were involved. On this issue, I am joined by P.K. Mishra, former ADG BSF, Group Captain, retired B. Nandkumar Sharma, social activist, Professor Prasanajit Biswas, and Dr. Thombing, Assistant Professor, National Law University and Judicial Academy from Guwahati. Let me straight away go to Mr. Mishra. Mr. Mishra, I don't recall in recent past such a firing had taken place. First, people tried to stop it. When tear gas was used and the road was cleared, firing happened from the hillside, and that is how the driver got killed, and that is how the security personnel got injured. Now, if this is the way the militants are going to enforce blockade, what will happen to the civilians?
Yes, Karthik, the thing which has happened at Ukhrul, it happened earlier also at Ukhrul, and 2 persons were killed earlier also. And in fact, government was supplying rice and other essential commodities to Ukhrul, and that was for the local people of Ukhrul that items were going. But there was a protest by this Kuki Inpi party, Kuki Inpi Manipur, and you see they ambushed and they fired, in which the truck driver, he belongs to West Bengal. He's from West Bengal. He was killed, and one of our security personnel got injured, and he was admitted to hospital. But I will tell you why it has happened, because you see, Ukhrul, in fact, the violence is still there. It was there in Kankopi area, it was there at Sanapati, and then it was there at Chandel. But the thing is, now this Kuki Naga class is still continuing. What has happened? The Kuki NP Manipur is still telling that there are 14 Kuki communities are still there under. They are captured by the Naga communities. They were not released. That is how they ambushed, and they ambushed it intentionally. And in fact, I'm very sure this is the group who fired on the convoy, and the driver got killed. And I'll tell you, when police, they opened fire, tear gas and smoke bombs, and 5 women were injured, they were treated by police personnel, the security personnel. Thanks to, I'm saluting those security personnel who really looked after those 5 women who were injured. So a nice thing they have done. But I'm telling you, the violence still is going on in Manipur, and things are going away.
Okay, let me just take, okay, Mr. Mishra, let me take opening comments from everyone.
Very correct.
Professor Prasanajit Biswas.
Yes, I mean, it's a very disturbing incident. In fact, when the blockade is on...
And the reason why, let me just say that, the reason why I'm saying I've decided to dedicate a lot of time for this incident is, it's not about a death. This death is symbolic of a lot of things that are going wrong in the state. Professor.
Yeah, I mean, now the moment you talk about wrong, there is this background, which has been there since 2023. So we cannot steer up the background, which will further escalate a discussion, that may not lead to a certain kind of harmony and peace. So we have to be cautious about that. And therefore, I would simply say this much, as a beginning statement, that what has happened in Kasam village, is something very disturbing. And there is always, in such an incident, there is always a kind of a gap of understanding. The point is that when there's a blockade is going on and a convoy of food is also going on, both have a certain perspective. The blockade is based on a certain perspective. The convoy for food is absolutely essential. No one can deny that. So there's a situation here, and that needed to be handled. I know security forces did their level best. They wanted to save the situation, and they saved it very well. But nevertheless, the issue remains, the issue about blockade and the issue about, securing the Kuki villages and raising the voice of the Kuki people also was important, just as it is important for Tangkhul people to see that their food and social security is maintained. So I see that a new intervention is needed in such a situation, which should be humane, which should be justifiable, and which should be proportionate. And that has to be worked out.
These are the visuals from the spot, and the one visual which we are running, we'll put the NAT up, in which you can hear the shots being fired. You can hear the shots being fired. Dr. Tombing, your opening comments?
It's unfortunate that this incident has happened. And if we imagine from a military perspective to it.
Dr. Tombing, I think there's a bit of a problem with your line. I'll come back to your opening comments, Mr. Sharma.
Yeah, Karthik, it's an act of terrorism under BNS section 113 or UAPN 1967. it clearly lays down disruption of essential service. It comes under the act of terrorism. So government must take action, as I have been telling earlier. So we should not link with any other problems, whatever happened earlier. And mostly the violence have been actively used by the Kuki community to demand their, say, they could have done demand through democratic ways. But however, they have chosen the violence as a means for demanding a separate state or separate whatever they call it. So it is a great concern about the administration and the government of India and the government of Manipur must take it very seriously. Violence should not be based for demanding a democratic process. So there is as I have been saying, so there is no punishment for such people involving in violence and demanding the actions. And also I'd like to say that Kukis have been, the Kuki, especially armed groups, not all, they have been depending on violence. Earlier they have been killing Meiteis.
I'll call spade a spade. A lot of people earlier blame Mera Paibis for, blocking, Mera Paibis for not letting the security forces go in. And I was the one, listen to me. But here, these civil society groups from the Kuki community are there.
Yeah, still I will talk only about the armed groups. I will not talk
Fair
about
enough.
the civil security.
So I'm saying that everyone does it when it is convenient for them. Every ethnicity does it when it is convenient for them.
Yeah, because there is no punishment given by the government authorities. That's why people are...
Shouldn't there be a punishment for blocking highways? Shouldn't there be a punishment for blocking highways?
Yes, provision of laws are there. Highway blocking is an offense. There is Highway Act in our constitution and the various laws are there. And as I have mentioned, BNS section 113 clearly lays down blocking of essential items or essential commodities. It comes under this terrorist act. So whoever does it, whether armed group or non-armed group, it comes under this offense and they must be punished. And now what I was saying that the earlier Meitei who have been targeted, now the Nagas have been targeted by the other community, and today we found that a non-Manipuri driver have been killed, and this is the height of violence and increasing. And they have seen that by using violence, they have got buffer zone. As you said in your headline, Israelis have extended their buffer zone. Now they are trying to extend their buffer zone in the Naga inhabited areas and trying to achieve the goal, which is very dangerous, Kartikeya.
Okay. Shouldn't there be some sort of a mechanism, Mr. Mishra, you have been part of the security system, that these highways can become functional? People tell me, Arey Baba, what are you saying? 30 years ago, this highway was blocked for 6 months. Then I would, speak to someone, Arey, say, you don't realize it, you have not gone there. 10 years ago, this highway was blocked for 6 months. I said, okay, this is history, but history can also be rewritten.
Yes, Kartikeya, history can be rewritten. Just see what they have done, because the Kuki in Manipur, they called for the Bandh and they knew this convoy is going. And I saw the visual in between TS near Kasim village and TM Kulen village, how they have blocked the road. The Sankai Kuki community, I am very frank in telling it, the Sankai Kuki community under the direction of Kuki in Manipur, they blocked it with boulders. And they cut the trees. All the trees were there on the road. I have seen the visual. One of my friends there, he showed me how they have blocked the road. And in fact,
I want to make this discussion community agnostic.
Yes. And
really, I really want to make this discussion community agnostic. Everyone tries to block it, and I end up having no conversation on these highways. Also belong to others who may not be interested in politics.
Absolutely. Highway belongs to Manipuris, all Manipuris, whether they are Kukis or Meiteis or Nagas or Tamkul Nagas. But you see, we must keep it open. I am very sure we're capable to keep it open, but the political thought should be there. Political parties, whoever it may be, whether the chief minister or this party or that party, they must keep it clear. Mr. Kartikeyan, I'll tell you, during when I was even a DIG of Manipur, I was told to keep this national highway to Dimapur open, and with one battalion, I had 5 battalions. With one battalion, I kept it open for months and months, and I kept it open. If the will is there from the government, it can be made open. I'm very sure it can be made open because I have done it there, so there is no problem. I think the Honorable CM and the security apparatus should ensure all these highways should remain open. Anybody obstructing, they should take action. They must apprehend these culprits, whoever he may be. He may be Maiti, or he may be Kukis, or he may be Pongals, or he may be Nagas, or Tamkul Nagas, whoever he may be. But the first and foremost thing, the essential goods are coming for Manipuris. How can we close the national highway? That should not happen. And I'm very sure the Honorable Chief Minister should take a strong stand. If he doesn't do it, then this will keep on happening. Everyone will try to block all these roads. And there is a call also by Kuki and Manipur to shut down in their area where they are. That's about Sanapati, Kankopi, Chandel, and Chudachandpur and Ukhrul for a month against all this.
Chief Minister has said one thing.
Yeah.
Chief Minister has said one thing. Chief Minister says Professor Prasenjit Biswas, vested interests are behind it. How do we interpret vested interest?
Yeah, I mean, vested interest requires a larger connotation. Those who are fired upon is a kind of a situation in which, women protesters also were injured. So tensions emotions were running high in a situation. So therefore, it's not just vested interest, but it is the situation that was being created by blockade and also by a kind of an action that has happened by the security forces. Now, I won't take a valued position here. I would simply
I'm not going to
say
stop
that
you. I have never stopped you, Professor.
No, I'm not said you have stopped me. I'm simply saying I'm not taking a value judgment on the matter. I'm simply saying that such situations are avoidable. It requires a little bit of a background work.
Can you just tell us, Professor, what is this politics of Bandh? What is this politics of Bandh? It's not as if it's very peculiar to Northeast. The reservation politics in Rajasthan a couple of years ago led to blockage of train. This inconvenience of public as a choke point, is it something very, very peculiar to South Asian politics, sir?
No, I mean, may not be so generalizable. But I'm simply saying here, you see the abduction.
You don't see that in Southeast Asia. You don't see that in Australia.
No. I don't see so much there.
Why is it here? Context. I mean, so why is it here? You don't see that in sometimes in Europe, farming community when they start blocking it. But it happens so regularly here.
Yeah. Okay.
As if the people who have no position have no say in the civic life of this country. In fact, it's like civic life has no respect. People, it's a public road. I would like to change the perspective, not those ideological positions. Kuki Metis, Nagas, and the sort of the larger life struggles. What about those who have no struggle? What about those who just do 9 to 5? What about those who work in government offices, teachers, professors, doctors?
See, I mean, you can look at it from that point of view. We're welcome to
that. Is also a point of view. So from sociology, it's also a point of view.
When people are divided,
and people who don't want to have a point of view, Professor, you are a sociologist, you are a philosopher. People who don't want to have a point of view.
No. I'm saying here, people's existential situation is such that they're already divided, and that division has gone to the extent of abducting each other and not releasing those who are abducted. And that is a major pain that one community or the other is suffering. And therefore, there is a big conflict, psychological conflict, a situation of war that is going on here. So, state has to handle this situation by taking care of these communities and to bring them to a certain kind of negotiation.
I also feel that, law-abiding people get kicked around, there has to be, law. I am no spokesperson of the state or any security service or services, but Mr. Sharma, there has to be some sort of a place for those who don't want to have a position on anything. I also don't want to have an opinion on everything, despite being a journalist. I don't like it. It's taxing, it's consuming, it's toxic. Sometimes it's good not to have a opinion.
Kartikeya, absolutely you are right. Most people want to live very peacefully, and that's why they don't want to have any information about what's happening around them. And it's good also because everybody cannot be having all the information and cannot involve in all the activities. That's why political people, class of people are there, so civil servant people are there, defense people, so various facets of the civil life. And in Manipur, I'll just let me add up a few points about the
Sure, sure. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, because the public, it's a democratic right as given by the democratic setup of government of India to peacefully protest. So it started with that, but people started thinking that if you induce pain, so like it's like a child demanding their parents, if I'll not eat food if you don't give me like that. So it started some sort of blackmailing, and it has intense, and people are so used to that. For small things they started blocking, and also it's not. It is not done by everybody, but it becomes a source of earning income for many people who organize the burn. So in Hindi, you call Andalon GB, some sort of term you have. So these are there. So financial gains are there. And also there is a possibility of you being highlighted in the political arena. So these are some of the backgrounds. But however, it's different in Manipur, present situation. Earlier it is different, but right now it is completely different. It is lack of, enforcing law and order in the state, because whatever I have been mentioning, whatever rules and regulations you have in BNS and the other acts, the state administrative tools are not able to enforce. Why? As Mr. Sir has mentioned many times that he, with his troops, he can open, and he has done the road opening of all this highway. Why it is not possible now? As I said earlier, so there is a lack of political will. So this are the changes in political leadership style, or they are more selfish, or they do not bother about mass. They only bother about their group of people. This can be the some of the reasons. That's why the armed groups, similarly Kuki arms group.
Mr. Mishra, is there a lack of political will?
Yes, Mr. Kartikan, I'll tell you, since last many years, last more than 20 years, we are keeping the road from Jammu to Srinagar open. All this logistics which is going from Jammu for Srinagar, that's going, and we are deploying the troops. Look at the distance from Jammu to Srinagar highway. That we are keeping open with the security forces. What is this? The road from Dimapur to Imphal, and Imphal to Ukhrul, and Imphal to via Technopal to More. That's nothing. It can be handled very nicely. The political will, political will is definitely not there. They are not taking a correct action, befitting action to keep it open. It can be done in 24 hours. I repeat.
I have a technical question for you.
Yes, please do.
Technical question is that this fire took place from hill areas. So the firing must have been from a distance of 800 meters, from 500 to 800, 1 kilometer?
900 meters.
900 meters? It means those long-range weapons are still out?
Yes, they are out. Definitely, they are there. I told you.
कोई छोटा-मोटा weapon तो होगा नहीं इसका मतलब?
No, they are pinpoint. MMGs are there, medium machine guns and LMGs are there with them. Yes, and I'm telling you, if your convoy is going and you know that Kuki in Manipur had called for the Bandh, why didn't you go well protected? Why did you deploy your forces properly? And even if the fire
I think forces were there. But I think maybe they didn't expect this sort of a firing.
It's fine. If they don't expect, they will face this. So their people will be killed. So what is this force then? I'm very frank in telling you. I'm commander. I'm clear telling. If the fire has come from 900 meters, what's the problem? Whatever the time it happened, why don't you use helicopter to find it out? Why don't you use this helicopter with helibound operation to find it out? What is the problem in sending the drones? What for drones are there in Manipur? All these national highways can remain open if the political will is there and the forces are deployed properly, Mr. Kartikan. If we don't do it, you are very sure now the long-range weapons are available.
No, it's not. Let me just bring in another aspect. You know.
Yeah.
It's not as if things are not happening. For example, there's a press note, and one of the notes released by the government of Manipur is that the state cabinet has decided to implement the various points mentioned in the appeal of the Honorable Prime Minister, including reducing the size of VIP convoy, following security review, work from home, freeze government funded foreign travel, take steps to reduce non-essential government expenditure. Cabinet also approved the rationalization of posts under Manipur State Power Company, approved the extension of critical Manipur water protection. It's not as if the decisions are not being taken, Prasanajit.
Yeah.
It's not as if the decisions are not being taken. I'm reading from the media note.
But you see, today some of the Kuki women, 95 years Kuki women were, almost senseless because of tear gas. There was some action by the security forces, leaving 6 Kuki Joe women injured, and they are civilian women. So, things have to be handled in a very careful manner. There was firing, and that also, the situation could have been avoided.
I think my sources tell me non-lethal...
No, 1 minute, Karthikeya, let me complete this. If you talk over me, no point. So, there was firing, retaliatory firing, to this, attack on the civilians or whatever kind of limited force that security forces had to use to see that food convoy passes, which is absolutely essential. So, the situation has become a little smug here, and that kind of situation should be avoided in a certain way, and that requires a political will, as Mr. Mishraji is rightly pointing out. But everything cannot depend on our forces. The politicians have to play their due role, and I suppose civil society groups also have to play their due role, and everyone here didn't play their role, and that is why 14 Kuki-Jo people are still under abduction, and 6 Naga people are also under abduction. So there should be a kind of a mutual way in which the things can be resolved. All the injuries that have happened are very unfortunate, and people should be treated well, given medical treatment, etc. should come in the press release of the Manipur state government as well. That's what.
Okay, Mr. Sharma, why is this abduction business not being resolved? What's the issue? A lot of people are saying that the whereabouts of them are not known.
Karthikeyan, once again, I'll come back to the same issue, that political unwillingness to take a strong political action and political decision, and also the police and the administrative tools, they have not concluded none of the missing cases in last 3 or more than 3 years. What has happened? Giving an example, the missing of Lintoing Anvi, then Kamal Babu, and the killing of 6 people, abduction and killing of 6 people, including 3 childs in Jiribam, and Mukesh from Kaisampang. All this have happened more than a year, and some of them have more than 2 years. So where are the results for the inquiry? And has the inquiry concluded? And is anybody punished? Has charge-sheeted? Any judiciary action has been started? So people think there is nothing is happening. So if I am a criminal, if my crimes are not punished and is just pushing in the pile, then why I should? So I would be inspired to do more crime. So such things are happening. So the criminals, they are highly motivated, because whatever you do, you are not going to punish. Even the inquiries will not come to the public. So it is the government's duty to conduct the inquiry.
No,
and
my question was slightly on a different tangent, Mr. Mishra. Particularly about this case, there is silence. And I have also spoken to my sources, and my sources in security says that in this particular case, there is a lot of silence.
You are telling
Abduction.
About abduction. Yes, there is a silence. I'll be very frank in telling it that perhaps these 6 Nagas abducted. Let me be very frank. They may not come. So many people they were absconded and they didn't return. Perhaps these 6 Nagas will never return. I'm very sure. Otherwise, some information, some intelligence could have come. Anyway, that is my view. I'm not confirming this, but I'm telling you. But I will tell you, Mr. Karthikeyan, if from any hilltop a firing has come, and even if it is happening in Kashmir now also, yesterday and day before also it happened, immediately the whole hill is surrounded and the operation continues. Why here, when the firing came and the man got killed? No, nothing, no action. What about Trunglobi incident? Nothing has been done.
Absolutely.
We could find out who
no,
fired.
I think there should be some strong action on blocking these highways.
You are correct.
There has to be some strong action on blocking these highways. Thank you, Prasannaji. Thank you, Mr. Sharma. Thank you, Mr. Mishra, for joining me on this conversation. Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot, and being available to me on short notice. This is all I had on Point 1. Please don't go away. After a short break, I'll be back. And on Point 2, we're going to talk about Are we looking at Greater Israel? But after a short break.
इसमें है फाइबर, बीटा ग्लूकोन, प्रोटीन, मैग्नीशियम तत्व, इसलिए ये शारीरिक संतुलन के साथ साथ शरीर को स्वस्थ रखता है।